He's a cheating referee. That's clearly a red card. The Premier League has never been short of controversy, and the latest chapter unfolded at Old Trafford in a fiery encounter between Manchester United and Arsenal. What should have been remembered as a showcase of tactical nous and raw determination was instead overshadowed by a moment of officiating that has left fans, pundits, and even former referees fuming. The headline moment came late in the game when Arsenal defender Ricardo Calafiori was accused of blatantly tugging back Manchester United's Bryan Mbeumo in what looked, to many, like a professional foul and potential red card. Referee Simon Hooper, only yards from the incident, waved play on, sparking outrage. Arsenal went on to seal a narrow 1-0 win, but the narrative after the final whistle was less about 3 points gained and more about the standards of refereeing in England's top flight. A match played on a knife's edge. The setting was perfect, Old Trafford under the lights, the stands crackling with anticipation. Both sides came into the game under pressure for early season points, with Manchester United seeking to lay down a marker under new manager Ruben Amorim, and Arsenal aiming to consolidate their top four credentials under Mikel Arteta. The Gunners struck first. Barely 15 minutes into the match, a corner swung in by Martin Odegaard found Ricardo Calafiori, who rose above United's defenders to power home a header. It was a simple goal, poorly defended, and one that set the tone for United's defensive frailties throughout the evening. The away section erupted in jubilation, their voices echoing in defiance of a stunned home crowd. United attempted to respond, with Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo showing flashes of invention. Cunha's direct running unsettled Arsenal's backline, while Mbeumo stretched the field with his pace. Yet, time and again, their attacks broke down at the final moment, either through poor finishing or the intervention of Arsenal's compact defensive structure. The first half ended with United trailing but not yet beaten. Old Trafford simmered, sensing both vulnerability and opportunity. The flashpoint. If the first half was about tactical sparring, the second half was about raw emotion. United poured forward with greater intensity, driven by Amorim's animated presence on the touchline. The home side carved out half chances, with Fernandes testing Raya from distance and Cunha narrowly missing the target after a mazy run. Then came the moment that has since dominated every post-match discussion. With United pushing desperately for an equalizer, Bryan Mbeumo accelerated down the left flank. Just as he looked to break clear into space, Ricardo Calafiori reached out and clutched at Mbeumo's shirt, yanking him back. The winger stumbled, momentum lost, and United's promising attack fizzled out. It was, by almost every conventional measure, a cynical foul. In countless previous matches, such an infringement has resulted not only in a free kick but often a booking, and in some cases, a straight red if deemed a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Yet referee Simon Hooper, perfectly positioned, shook his head and allowed play to continue. The United bench erupted in protest. Amorim gestured furiously, his arms wide in disbelief. The crowd, already on edge, descended into jeers and chants questioning the referee's impartiality. Later, Howard Webb, the head of refereeing in England, weighed in on the incident. In my opinion, that is a clear red card situation. When a player deliberately prevents an opponent from progressing in such a dangerous area, action must be taken. It's unacceptable to miss something so obvious in a fixture of this magnitude. Managerial voices. Amorim did not hold back after the match. His frustration was evident, his words measured yet heavy with disappointment. We played well enough to deserve at least a point today. Decisions like that take the game away from the players. We cannot control everything, but when the obvious is ignored, it hurts. My players fought hard, they gave everything, and they deserved fairness. The Portuguese coach, still early in his tenure, knows that performances alone will not shield him from scrutiny if results do not follow. Yet his anger resonated with supporters who felt robbed of a genuine chance to salvage the match. Arteta, for his part, struck a more diplomatic tone. While praising his side's resilience, he acknowledged the contentious nature of the contest. We defended with everything. That is what you need at Old Trafford. I know there are moments people will discuss, but for us, it is about character. To come here and take 3 points, that is a big statement. Arsenal's defensive wall. Lost somewhat in the storm was the performance of Arsenal's backline. Despite the controversy, Calafiori and William Saliba marshaled the defense with composure, blocking shots and cutting off passing lanes. Ben White and Alexander Zinchenko worked tirelessly on the flanks, closing down spaces United's wingers sought to exploit. David Raya, often criticized for nerves under pressure, was commanding. His late save from Fernandes, a low, venomous strike, kept Arsenal's clean sheet intact. In those final minutes, as United launched wave after wave of attacks, Arsenal's defenders threw themselves into challenges, embodying the grit Arteta demands. Fan and media reaction. The fallout has been explosive. Television pundits debated the incident in real time, with some calling it one of the clearest red cards you'll see all season. Social media platforms erupted, hashtags targeting Simon Hooper's decision trending within minutes of full time. United fans flooded forums with demands for accountability, accusing referees of inconsistency and favoritism. Arsenal supporters, while largely celebrating the victory, admitted they had been fortunate not to see Calafiori punished. Former players also weighed in. Roy Keane, never one to mince words, called the decision a disgrace, while Gary Neville suggested the officials lacked the courage to make a decisive call under pressure. The broader debate, VAR and officiating standards. This incident has reignited the long-running debate about VAR. Should technology have intervened? Was it even reviewed? Transparency remains a central frustration for fans. Some argue VAR must step in during moments of clear and obvious error, exactly as this seemed to be. Others contend that if referees rely too heavily on technology, their authority diminishes, and the flow of the game suffers. What cannot be denied is that trust in Premier League officiating has eroded. Each weekend brings fresh talking points not about goals or tactics, but about refereeing mistakes. Calls for reform are growing louder, more training, greater accountability, and perhaps even mic'd up referees to explain decisions in real time, as is common in rugby. Looking forward. For Arsenal, the victory strengthens their bid for Champions League qualification and reaffirms their resilience under pressure. For United, the loss compounds a frustrating start to the season, exposing weaknesses both in defense and in composure in front of goal. Ruben Amorim's task now is daunting. He must rebuild confidence, channel frustration into motivation, and find ways to convert possession into goals. The Premier League does not allow time for self-pity. Matches come thick and fast, and every dropped point increases pressure. For referees, however, the spotlight will not fade quickly. This latest controversy adds to a growing catalogue of errors that fans believe are undermining the integrity of the competition. The Premier League prides itself on being the most competitive league in the world, but its officiating remains a glaring weak link. Conclusion. The Manchester United vs Arsenal clash will not be remembered primarily for Calafiori's header or Arsenal's defensive grit. Instead, it will linger in memory as another case study in how one decision, or lack thereof, can reshape the narrative of a match. Football thrives on passion, but passion turns to outrage when fairness is questioned. Until the Premier League addresses the mounting concerns around officiating, moments like these will continue to overshadow the beautiful game. In the end, Arsenal claimed the points, but it is the referee's decision that will echo longest in the corridors of debate.